What a headshot! What a head!
How's it, guys? This is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. In this video, I'll be taking you through my transfer plan for the upcoming Game Week 7. So as you guys know, if you've been watching the channel, Game Week 6 was going to be wildcard week, as with a lot of FPL managers. So to start off this transfer plan, I'll be giving you guys a recap of how the wildcard is currently going. Obviously, you still have one game coming up tonight. Then we'll be turning all our attention to Game Week 7, and kind of the big question about Game Week 7 is, should we be activating the bench boost chip, as our bench this week actually looks pretty decent. So those are the talking points, as well as an overall team selection / transfer plan for the upcoming game week. So if you guys want to see that, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So as mentioned, Game Week 6 was going to be wildcard week, and as of now, it seems like it was marginally successful. However, we do have two players coming up tonight. So those two players are the Everton Tarkowski as well as Dayvy, and they have a pretty good game coming up against West Ham, who interestingly sacked the manager on Saturday morning during the deadline stream. So let's hope that there's no kind of new manager bounce for West Ham this evening, and I'm hoping for big things from Tarkowski as well as Dayvy. Now in terms of the overall points, currently sitting on 55 points with a green arrow to just above the 6 million mark. So yes, it has been a dub, but this dub could have been even bigger, and the green arrow could have been even bigger once you guys see my bench. So yes, as you guys can see, Gabriel starting off on the bench. You guys might be asking yourself, why did I bench Gabriel? The logic behind this, and you'll see as I go over the rest of my defense, was the fact that Van der Ven had a better fixture. I thought Newcastle would score, and going for the Raya plus Gabriel double up, I wanted to split the odds there and go for Van der Ven. And for about 95 minutes, I was correct. So that's just how it is sometimes in FPL. Yes, last minute goals do happen. They're great when you have the players. They're terrible when you do bench them. But it is what it is, and let's move forward. Now in terms of Rodon, we actually went for him instead of Gudmundsson because a couple of Leeds fans were saying that Rodon was slightly more nailed. And I mentioned his lack of attacking threats, so what ends up happening, he scores a goal in Game Week 6. Now the other Leeds asset unfortunately didn't have the best performance, as well as Dubravka. So bench boost this week would have looked pretty decent, but as you guys know, I already activated the wildcard. Now let's go over a quick recap of how the rest of the wildcard looked. If you guys watched the team selection last week, it was the exact same team. I decided to go against Phil Foden even at the last minute, which was quite a close one. Now the rest of my defense was made up of the ever popular Senesi, just great value, rose in price yet again last night, and he probably even is still good value. And he racked up a massive 7 points for Bournemouth. Now you guys might be wondering, was this actually a clean sheet plus a bonus point? It wasn't. It was those DEFCON 2 points plus an assist plus an extra bonus point. Quite a weird collection of points there. Then as mentioned, our last option was going to be Van der Ven, who conceded to Wolves at home, which was super disappointing. Little did I know that he would be outperformed by 11 points by Gabriel on our bench. So obviously a mistake, and the benching mistakes have been so annoying these past few weeks. I think I've counted I've lost 25 points just by the players I've benched. Just seems like this season is not going to be where it is for us as it usually is. Let's just hope the future game weeks aren't as brutal. Now speaking about kind of brutal mistakes, let's go over our first midfielder, and that's Bruno Fernandes. He's missed the second penalty over the opening 6 game weeks. Just super frustrating to pick a penalty taker, and they've missed their penalties. The attacker always has the advantage. Now not only that, he also was going to be 1 DEFCON off the extra points, so that's why he actually is on -1 at the moment. But I guess what can you do at the end of the day? We had this similar debate a few weeks ago. We made the right decision kind of picking him for those penalties, and will he actually lose them now that he's missed 2 of them? Then next up is going to be Semenyo, a player that I would have brought in for a free transfer anyways, so can't really count his points towards the wildcard, but can count his points towards the total score. So once again, just seems like a super informed player on 7 points, should be on penalties if Kluivert is subbed off the field. I still feel like he should be great value, and Bournemouth are playing really well. Then our final option, Reinders. Whenever I start him, he doesn't get points. When I bench him, he absolutely hauls. So once again, against Burnley, nothing, only the 2-pointer. So I'm going to go over Erling Haaland next, because obviously Man City just spoken about Reinders. They had a strong performance, scoring 5 goals against Burnley. Erling Haaland getting 2 goals in stoppage time. So if you guys triple captained Erling Haaland, you probably wouldn't have been too happy at the 90-minute mark, but just seems like Game Week 6 was the game week of late goals. So congrats if you guys did triple captain Erling Haaland. I probably would have if I wasn't on the wild card, and we did speak about that in the deadline stream. Now the most annoying factor about kind of the wild carders versus the triple captainers was if I did start Gabriel, it would have maybe offset those Erling Haaland triple campsy points. But what do? I go and bench him, the biggest difference between the triple captainers and the wild carders. So just another kind of added annoying fact about benching Gabriel, but I promise I'll get over it soon. Then our next option, João Pedro, played the full 90 minutes. However, Chelsea did play with 10 men for the majority of this fixture. And if you guys watched the deadline stream, was a massive debate between going for him or going for Phil Foden. Ended up going for the ever popular João Pedro at over, I think, 68% ownership, which is absolutely insane. Happy that Phil Foden didn't get points, but hope that João Pedro would do a little bit better. Now once again, we've had the rumors of him potentially carrying a small issue according to the Chelsea manager. I'm not too concerned though, and he should be fine for the weekend. Then our final player, Gyökeres, and I don't think Gyökeres is the best striker in FPL, but the fixtures look so good. Game week 6 wasn't the week for him though, so let's hope for some better performances in these easier fixtures. Now there actually was going to be a penalty that Gyökeres won, but it was ruled out by VAR, so we don't exactly know who's going to be on penalties for Arsenal at the moment. But considering he won it, I would have been quite surprised if Saka took it. Now there might be some debate of who's actually on penalties, they might be sharing it, but as far as I know, Gyökeres should be next. So let's just see how that plays out. So overall, as mentioned, let's just see what happens tonight for me to be able to assess if the wildcard was a dub. In terms of budget, yes, it was a dub, but considering I sold Watkins plus Rodgers, don't exactly know how the team would have played out. Let me know if your guys' wildcard went better. It would have definitely gone better if you just started Gabriel. Let's just hope our luck turns next week. So moving on to our actual team selection, our current team selection for the upcoming Game Week 7. And I've got 2 free transfers and a minimal amount of funds. Now the game week after wildcarding, you preferably wouldn't be looking to use a transfer. So at the moment, I'm looking to roll one. I do have a big question though. This week is, should I bench boost? Let's go over that to start off this transfer plan video. I've got Dubravka against Aston Villa, Struch plus Rodon against Spurs at home, and then finally Van de Ven with the same fixture, Leeds away. So would you guys use the bench boost in Game Week 7 if your bench looked like this? I'm probably 30-70 towards not using it. I just kind of feel like in the future game weeks the bench might look slightly better. However, Game Week 7 is going to be super close to the wildcard, no injuries, no rotation, that sort of thing. Just feels a little bit suboptimal playing 2 defenders against each other. In terms of Dubravka, Aston Villa scoring 3 goals, they might be back. I might prefer a better fixture for the Burnley goalkeeper. But you guys let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. If you guys are bench boosting, would love to know what your bench is. Remember, please make it as reliable or whatever bench you would pick if you weren't going to use the bench boost, just so that you don't skew the stats. Now the rest of our starting 11 is actually pretty easy to pick. For example, Raya between the sticks, West Ham's a great fixture. I'm combining the double up there, not benching Gabriel this week. He's going to be in the starting 11, and that West Ham at home fixture is super good. We then have Tarkowski, who has a fixture against Crystal Palace, a team travelling midweek for the European game. Let's hope he scores some points tonight and against Crystal Palace. Then Senesi is just an instant pick for your starting 11, is just racking up these def cons like they're going out of fashion. And I won't lie, Fulham at home is actually a pretty strong fixture. I've got Semenyo in my midfield department with the same fixture. I'm hoping there could be some points here. Fulham did concede quite a few against Aston Villa, a team that haven't looked great. So what's going to happen when they actually face Bournemouth? I'm going to forgive Bruno Fernandes as he has Sunderland at home. This is a great fixture. Let's just hope that if he wins a penny, actually scores it, as it seems like the United manager is going to hold on for another week. Also within Dayvy, Crystal Palace isn't the best fixture. They've been defending pretty well. I'm just hoping they might be a little bit leggy after that Thursday fixture. And overall, Everton have impressed me from an attacking point of view. Also with Rangers, they have midweek Champions League football, but let's just hope he keeps his spot as Brentford away is a pretty strong game. I'm just waiting for my returns when I actually do start him. Pretty no-brainer, almost captaincy here. Erling Haaland, Brentford have been conceding a few, aren't the best defense, but they are coming off a pretty good win against United. Now, do I think it's going to be the similar story for another Manchester team? No, I think Erling Haaland should score quite a few goals. Could there be the debate about triple captaincy here yet again? Then also João Pedro, Liverpool is a tougher game, but they have been conceding. I do hope that these kind of injury concerns with JP do fade away though. And then finally, Gyökeres, kind of the reason we brought him in was this West Ham game. There should be goals here. And if he can't score against West Ham, I might have some concerns about his performances. Luckily though, with 2 free transfers, 3 if we do roll it next week, we could do a mini wildcard. But at the moment, the team looks pretty good, as it should be 1 week after wildcarding. But let's see how the midweek does progress. Obviously, we do have those press conferences coming up late in the week, and tons of European football happening Tuesday to Thursday. Let's hope Everton do an absolute worldie tonight. Tarkowski plus Ndai get a hattie each. I need some joy after benching Gabriel. Also, let me know your transfer plans for the upcoming week. If you're on the wildcard, how's the wildcard looking? Also, as mentioned, let me know if you think I should bench boost, and if you are bench boosting, what players do you guys have at the moment? Stay tuned for future content. Also, remind about the Friday deadline stream coming up 1 hour before the deadline. Hopefully I'll see you guys there. This is basically a wrap for the guys. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Please like it and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Content's still to come up, so make sure the notifications are turned on. But for the time being, I'm signing off. It's been Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.